was that noise?
Yeah. That's so much better than the 5-minute one that I did. Just like you're sitting there waiting like this.
That was next level. Like, what are you doing? Like, get your head checked, sort of thing.
I know. I was like, I normally do that when I don't schedule them because then I'm like, I give people a chance to get in. But I completely was like, oh, that's really dumb. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. We're just talking like nobody else is here. Welcome to the stream tonight. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We've got a trailer for Calamity Jane that I haven't seen yet. It's has Emily Bedrick and Stephen Amell in it. And Paige, you were saying he's not even really in a lot of it. Is that what you're saying?
No, I read the thing on Twitter, like I don't know which one it was. One of those. Who was it? Variety? No, whoever. I saw the thing, and they said that like Stephen Amell plays the part, but his character's death is like the catalyst for what happens.
Right. So
I'd
he's
assume,
probably
like,
in the beginning of the movie and then flashback.
And then maybe like a flashback or two or something like that. Yeah.
So I haven't seen the trailer. We're going to watch it here in a minute because apparently it's like a low budget film. Paige was telling me because it's on Tubi. So that means that they
from what I've read, they made the movie on their own accord. I guess just with fundraising and stuff like that, or they just got funders for it. And then they sold it to Tubi.
Which doesn't mean it's going to look bad. Like, what's that movie? Was it Code 8 or something? The one that
Netflix bought the rights to the sequel for that. I mean,
yeah,
coming out soon?
It should be, yeah. But that was low budget, but it was still good. So maybe this.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and also it's a western. It's a western. Like a western's like
really
there's
cheap.
no CGI and stuff like that, and like you film in the desert. So like, yeah.
However,
the only thing that can be a bit, is whether the technical stuff, whether it's filmed well or not. I guess obviously the acting as well.
For the two of them to be working together again, because it's like this is going to get Olicity probably trending on social media. I think.
To be honest, that was probably the intention. I guess there might be a slight intention. Sorry, to get the
probably. Plus, Heels got canceled, so Stephen Amell doesn't have a lot going on right now.
He said this was done before that. I just saw when that thing was going on that it was done like pretty much a year ago.
Yeah. So, well, either way, he's got nothing happening. They canceled. I think it was September of last year. They canceled Heels, and the thing was looking back at everything. So this is my question for people in the chat. We got 32 people here right now. We'll probably have more in a bit. But
are you asking the edgy question that I think you're going to ask?
Maybe.
Okay.
Was Stephen Amell right? That's the question, because his show was canceled probably due to issues with the strike.
I don't think necessarily you prove Stephen Amell correct through that. Like he's the show Hale's getting cancelled. It might have been cancelled anyway, even if there wasn't any strikes.
But do we know that for sure?
Who knows? Maybe it's a flip of the coin. Maybe not. But the thing is that like everything that's happened after he spoke has made him look more and more right.
Did you see the AI deal?
I think I said this to you. I think it was the first thing I said because remember I came back, from my break, literally was it like 2 days after the strike or whatever the fuck it was. I think the first thing I said when I came into the stream is, how bad was the actors deal? Because it was awful. It was pointless striking for them. The writers, on the other hand, very good. And the directors, did you see today the directors jumped on board? They get the bonuses.
Yeah.
Now. So the DGA now gets the bonuses that the WGA gets.
The 3 deals.
The actors the actors wasted their time. And the thing is that it's very bad. I know we're sort of getting sidetracked a bit because who thought actors strike would be brought up again, but I reckon that Fran Drescher should resign now. Remember, everyone was saying that she should run for president.
Yeah.
How stupid were fucking people? How dumb were fucking people?
We talked about this before that like there was a solidarity thing, but I think the thing with
that
Stephen
only
Amell
goes so far.
Well, no, because but I'm saying like Stephen Amell. One of the things you said when we talked about this, because everybody was kind of like we were all like blindsided.
Oh yeah, because this happened before I took that break, didn't it?
Yes, the initial.
Yeah, the initial thing. Yeah.
But the fact was that I believe it was you that said it, or maybe I heard it somewhere else, but that he's only saying what other people are thinking. They're just not.
That was me. Yeah. That was I said that. Yeah.
So it's quite possible that he did, decide that he, couldn't for whatever reason, didn't want to like put himself out there or whatever. I'm not sure, but either way, it is interesting to see that the actors deal wasn't that great compared to the writers and the directors. And the directors took their deal very early. Like I think
they took the offer to them, but they were very smart because the WGA and the DGA sort of not the same thing, obviously, but they run very parallel. Like they have a lot of the same deals and everything, just because of what it is.
Yeah.
And the DGA got their deal. The directors could go and film if they wanted to, if it was like independent stuff or whatever it was. And then the writers striked, and then the DGA just came and said, "Oh, we'll get that part of the deal now because you've agreed to it for the writers. We didn't have to strike because we can just wait."
Right. Anyway, welcome back to the Team Airrick, South Texas Shark. Glad to have you. I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. That's why I was going to do a video on this, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do live streams. They're more fun interacting with you guys and sort of like being able to react to whatever we're watching. So let's go ahead. We're gonna actually let's start out with something else. I want to start out with something else. This popped up. I probably shouldn't show this so early in the stream because it'll get it demonetized probably. Sort of edgy. But are you planning on seeing Dune in theaters, Dune 2?
I had no idea it comes out in like a month.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a middle of the year movie. I thought it was going to be like a summer movie. I didn't realize it was dropping in February.
Right.
Well, for me, I think it's February 28th. In America, it's March 1st. Oh, no, is it February 29th? Because it's a leap year. But I was sort of surprised. I saw the trailer. I'm like, why are they playing Dune trailers? And then it said February 29th or whatever. And I was like, oh, God. I'm going to have to rewatch the first one. I only watched it.
It's almost like they didn't learn their lesson from last year. Like because Madam Web comes out in like the second week in February, and then Dune comes out like very shortly after Madam Web.
But I don't know how big the crossover audience between Madam Web and Dune is.
I mean,
but the thing is, I don't think it's a death release date. Yeah, but I don't think it's like a death release date. Like normally you probably wouldn't look, even though like Deadpool released there and stuff like that, Black Panther.
I'm just gonna brace you for what I'm about to show on screen though. Here we go.
I saw this. It's a fleshlight. It's just someone's going to be literally like, let's just not mince words. Someone's sticking their willy inside a popcorn bucket during Dune. The issue is that I think the pleasure experience is going to matter how much butter is in there. So Eric, if you are getting this, please load up on the butter. That's all I can say. And do not put any M&Ms.
When I saw this, the first thing I thought is, who designed this and thought that this was like going to pass? You know what I mean? Like they put it out, legitimately put this out. Like, okay, so I mean, like, first of all, you're going to get butter. Okay, I don't even know how to approach this. So if you're eating popcorn out of this, it's going to get all the toppings and everything in those little thingies. So every time you reach in to get popcorn, you're going to get like shit all over your hands. Basically. So first and foremost,
it's obviously a novel. I mean, to be honest,
jokes aside, it's already a fail because.
But to be honest, with a lot of these popcorn buckets, I saw one. What was it for? It was stupid. It made no sense. It's like no one's eating this like that in a. Yeah, I think was it Transformers or something, and it was like Optimus Prime as a truck with the back open. It's like no one's eating the popcorn like this because where you resting it? Like it makes no sense. It's effectively a toy.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like I saw this, and
to be honest, it would make much more sense if this was like a drink, like a cup,
like
something.
Like the mouth just went into a point so you could put a straw in it. Is that
what it was like? It wasn't like fully closed, but it was like closed enough where if you put a straw that maybe they give you, maybe it's like a spear or something.
There's a side view of this. Like it's just totally a fleshlight. It's just totally a fleshlight. That's all it is. Like, I mean, I don't even know. The tie-in stuff is so weird with these movies. You know, so when I went to see, what movie did we see? They had like a tie-in that I thought was kind of cool. I think it was the Marvels. They had like the like star-shaped ice cubes that you can put in your drink. You've seen these before, right? They light up.
Oh, the ones that like glow up and stuff like that.
I thought, okay, so like you could use that for something else. It makes sense, but this is just not. It's not. Like it's just not. Anyway, let me stop sharing that before I get in trouble. YouTube thinks that I'm doing something wrong. I just couldn't believe it when I saw that. I was like, this cannot be the real popcorn bucket. But lo and behold, It absolutely is. And you're right. Someone's going to get that, and it's going to be all over the news on what they did in the movie theaters. I can see it already. The one for Wonder Woman was good. I don't remember what that was. What was the tie-in product for Wonder Woman?
Was it like a shield or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. Don't remember.
All the ones in Australia that you get are either, if you go to one, I know Hoyt's usually does the metal tins. Like I used to get, mainly because they were the same cost. Like you'd pretty much go and there might be like an extra $1 to get the metal tin compared to just the normal popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
And they were always good. You know, I'd always take them home and just reuse them and stuff.
Yeah.
For whatever.
Well,
and then
I mean,
if you go to the other one,
popcorn bucket would never ever be used for popcorn anyway. Like it just doesn't. It's not good.
Well, no, because by the looks of it, it's just the top. It looks like it's a rubber thing that clips onto the top of a metal bucket.
Right.
That's what it looked like. So it looked like the normal tin popcorn bucket you get. But yeah, and then the other movie cinema thing they usually do like a branded cardboard popcorn thing, but then you get a drink cup. So the drink cup is depends what you prefer, the branded drink cup that you can reuse at home or the popcorn's in.
Oh, it's just a 10 popcorn bucket with a nice design. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. Those are actually more fun because then you can like put them out and display. Like, where would you even put this bucket when you got it? Like the side of it.
Well, really some people next to their bed, but I don't know.
All right, so we're gonna watch the trailer. Where's it at? Calamity Jane trailer. Now, I haven't seen anything. Let me pause the music here. I haven't seen anything from this. Nothing. So actually, that's a lie. I've seen that one thumbnail for the movie and a couple of like pictures of the set. So this is the Calamity Jane trailer. It's Stephen Amell and Emily Bett Rickards. She's the main actor, the main character, Calamity Jane. It's a Western. And I'm not expecting a ton from this trailer, but I'm curious what her acting is like because we've known her as Felicity for so long. Seeing her as someone else is a little weird. Stephen Amell's played lots of different characters. The only thing I've ever seen. Wait, has Emily Bett been in anything else?
She did a couple of Broadway things, like not Broadway, but theater things, I think.
But not like not movies or anything or TV shows.
I don't think so. But then again, like COVID happened like straight after Arrow.
Yeah. So Cody says all my movie memorabilia is just sitting in my closet. That's probably where most of mine is too. Hey Laura, how are you doing? Quinlan says I've seen some nice ones that light up, and some of the tins are expensive. Like regular popcorn is $15, and the tin is like 20. Yeah, that's another thing. Is it's really expensive. So like you could probably get a fleshlight cheaper. Just fill that with popcorn and use that at the movies. So actually, don't. I'm not condoning that at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's horrible advice.
Robert says prepare for calamity. I don't know if I'm ready for this. All right, so here's the deal. As always, we're gonna watch the trailer. If you're watching this on playback, it's a possibility it gets claimed and taken down. I don't know why they would claim this, though. I mean, this is a Tubi movie, but if it's missing, you know why. We'll talk about it afterwards anyway. So let's get into this. Calamity Jane, Emily Bett Rickards, and Stephen Amell, and a bunch of other people that we've never heard of. Here we go.
Tell me what your name is. What's your name? Imagine a lot comes along with a name like Calamity.
History doesn't remember, Jay.
Hold on. Did you hear that accent? Oh my god!
Like a couple of words of it.
Oh my god! No, I had so in my gut I was like, the accent is gonna be bad, right? It's gonna be like if she does an accent. Just Paige, how many times have we said this? Unless there's a very specific reason why someone would change their accent, just use your normal voice with these. Like we talked about Batwoman with Ruby Rose. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't just make her from like a cousin from Australia. They could have done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she could use her normal accent. Like this accent sounds so bad. We got to go back. Hold on. We got to go back. Just listen to this because I'm pretty sure she's going to talk more in this trailer. What the hell? Here we go.
Comes along with a name like Calamity.
History doesn't remember, Jay.
Oh my god. Look at Stephen Amell's wig.
I'm surprised they gave him a wig. I don't know why they.
Oh my god! Look at it. They didn't even dye his facial hair to match the wig, and like, it's so dark.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm surprised they like. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's. Well, the thing is he based off a real person? Because someone was saying that Calamity Jane's a real person. So maybe
it is a like a based on a story.
What character is he playing?
Okay, so let me look that up. Bill Hickok, I think. So let's see.
Oh, here we go. Wild Bill Hickok.
Yeah, the pictures are a little weird because there's another.
Well, that's So the guy had long black hair with like a bit of
but his mustache was like a long like
twisty. Yeah, it was like a long with no real like a long.
So this is not his facial hair like at all, really.
Yeah.
Let's.
Wild Bill Hickok.
All right, let's keep going.
I love you,
Wild Bill.
Jack McCall.
He doesn't look too bad in that side shot.
You mean the one right here?
Yeah, there. Like that doesn't look too bad.
I think someone told me when it comes to movies and TV shows, like 70% of it is lighting. Like it's really
angling. In the front on thing, it doesn't look that great. But there it looks fine, especially because the lighting it makes his facial hair look darker.
Yeah, but that shot with like a straight on
the
shot
one with the jail bars. So that one looks fine, but the other one looked a bit weird.
Yeah, that was bad. Here we go.
He shot Bill. Step aside, deputy. He dies. Here and now.
He'll stand trial.
We'll embark on a quest for revenge. You better build 2 graves. One for them and one for yourself.
I'm gonna kill Jack McCall.
Don't throw your life away.
What life?
There's too many of them.
Just more targets. You feel that?
All right, is it just me or does this look almost like a fan film? Like something people made in their backyard? I mean, it really does look pretty bad.
It looks higher budget than that, but it's also you can tell it's low budget at the same time.
I mean, like
they're still using like decent equipment and everything like that. It's just that
but the music's really generic. It sounds like cinematic.
Well, that's what because I'm not too sure what the whole idea. Like as I said, like from what I read, even though it wasn't from like one of those like Hollywood Reporter and stuff, they said it was like they made it and then they sold it rather than someone bought the rights and then they made it, if that makes sense.
Like look at okay, so that guy's beard is a fake beard. That's not real. The guy on the right is obviously wearing a wig as well. It's just really weird. Hold on, is that up here in the corner? Is that like a radio tower in the corner? The left corner? Looks like a radio tower, like it was on the hill and they didn't edit it out.
I don't think so. It doesn't look like
maybe.
I can't tell. I can't see.
More targets.
It's like a stick.
You feel that? That cold trickling up your spine.
Oh my
That's
god!
Death come for you.
She was destruction given form and purpose.
Also, the audio is really bad. Like some of it's like ADR, and some of it's like on set, and like hearing them together, it sounds really bad. So, oh my god! Did you see this last shot of her like with the
railgun?
Yeah. Okay, so what are we thinking? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it just looks like a low budget Western. I mean, it doesn't really I'm not too sure what the story or the tale
is this the destiny of like all of the Arrowverse actors is to end up doing something like this? Because I'll be honest, with the CW getting rid of like a lot of scripted shows, that window of opportunity for a lot of those actors is gone. Because
I mean, a lot of it really, because with most of the actors, it's pretty much always just going to be the headliner. Like you don't see too many where it's the supporting person goes on to do stuff. Like in regards to where they were there at the beginning and they're also there roughly at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So like Grant's doing well. I mean, though people want to deny it, Steven still has only just left a show. So, and he's got Code 8 coming out whenever it is on Netflix. Melissa Benoist has her show. I think I saw something where that HBO Max show she's doing is coming out soon.
The on the bus, that one.
Yeah, the girls on what it's called, the political show, whatever it is. Right. I mean, who else is there? Legends didn't necessarily have a straight up lead, so you can't really include them.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that were working.
Grants on Broadway, yeah.
Yeah, but then there's a lot of supporting characters that aren't doing anything.
Yeah, but that's what they're supporting. They're not the ones you leave the show really thinking too much about. So I don't think anyone really expects too much. Like, even if you look at
Jesse L. Martin has his own show.
Yeah, but that's Jesse L. Martin. He already had the Prestige before. You're referencing people like Emily Bett Rickards, and then maybe someone like, I don't know.
Are you diminishing the power of Felicity on the show? I mean, are you?
Well, she's not Felicity. She's Calamity Jane. And then whoever Cameron Johnson, for example, he's doing his own thing and stuff like that. So
if they bring Arrow back for something, say for example, they want to do like a movie for Max and they bring Arrow back. What if they bring her back as Calamity Jane? Like she's an Elseworlds version of Felicity and she's Calamity.
I was going to say it wouldn't be Felicity because Felicity killed herself. So,
well, this would be like an Elseworlds version. Like Calamity Jane is actually just Felicity.
So here's the big thing: what if they brought back the you know what? Do you know what I'm referring to there?
The you know what? What do we?
You know what I'm referring to?
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm referring to? Musical episode, but it's a flashlight special with the Dune pop.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right,
and it's just sort of like a tale around that.
So Quinlan brings up a good point. Have you seen like the clips of like the really bad Tubi movies?
They're all just usually, but from what I know, they're usually like not like this, aren't they? Usually like almost like a Hallmark movie, but just not Christmas.
Yeah, but there's one. Okay, so there's one that I remember. It was last year, and I don't know if I probably can't find it, but there was one where it was so low budget, right? They were making the movie, and you had like it was a hospital scene, and you had a guy that was sick in the hospital, and then two women were in the room with them, and they were fighting about this guy. And I just remember, apparently, the actor that was playing the guy was fired during filming. And they switched to another actor, but it happened like while they were mid filming. So in that scene, he's in bed. It's one actor, and then when they start shooting in the room, and he gets down beside the bed, it's a completely different actor with a different hairstyle and everything. And it's just they don't even address it at all. It's just a completely different actor. It's a Tubi movie, and it's just really funny because it's so jarring. You're like, who is this person?
Yeah.
Like he just pops up like that's. I just remember that clip on Twitter, but it was pretty funny. I don't know if I'll be watching it. It's free on Tubi, with ads probably. So, you can check it out if you want. I don't think I will be checking it out, but
I thought you said you were doing a rant and review on it.
Absolutely not. I'm excited to redo rant. My last ever rant and reviews are going to be of Superman and Lois whenever we start getting more news on that. Like, I feel like we're still waiting for. When do you think we'll start getting like a flood of news from Superman and Lois?
I mean, unless there's like guest actors, I wouldn't expect anything until whenever they drop a trailer for it, which probably would, depending on when they premiere it. So I don't know, might not get a trailer till May.
June. Oh, Fatman, obviously, it's going to be so much drama and so much action. Definitely Best Picture. I don't know if Emily has the ability to pull off that role, so we'll see. Kai says, I think Candace basically like quit acting after The Flash. So one of the things that I know I did, maybe Paige, you got this a lot as well, is I got the impression from Candace, especially towards the last few seasons, that she really didn't want to continue to do what she was doing. I got the impression that I'm not saying she didn't want to be an actor or whatever, but the whole vibe of her and how she was disconnecting from people and going back to LA and just staying at home and stuff. Like, I just got the feeling that she didn't like what she was doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if, not saying she quit acting, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a while before we ever hear anything from Candace. Plus, I mean, the community, she had a lot of people in the community that like went after her and they were kind of awful to her. So I get it.
You kept making hate videos. So
I know so many of them, so many, can't even count. So yeah, I don't know. Candace is someone that we were told. I remember this right before the last season of The Flash. when we talked about like where we would see Candace and any of these actors again, and we didn't really have an answer for that. We were told by so many people she's going to be all over the place. She's going to be huge when she leaves the Flash because she's like the best thing on the show or whatever, and then nothing. So there we go. She's
I mean, like, it's also important to remember, like, the show only ended, like, really 6 months ago, maybe 7 months ago, and there was a big strike in between of it where she couldn't audition and anything like that, and she was probably going to take a break anyway. So
I wonder. Let's see something.
You never know. She might be like have things lined up, but it's just one of those things where they don't release like a X cast in X or whatever. Like, it probably wouldn't even say it on IMDb if you looked it up.
Like, it looks to me like her Instagram is completely blank. Like, not blank as in deleted. Like, she's not posting anything. The last thing she
probably just took
She
probably just took a break. I mean, I mean, it's probably better for celebrities not to be on Instagram. We're seeing all the stupid comments and stuff like that.
Well, maybe you just have to learn to not read them. That's pretty much what it is. So.
Maybe you should take a look at that one.
When do I talk about my comments? I rarely.
All the time. You're complaining about it today. You're saying, "Oh, someone told me to stop sucking on lollipops and all this stuff."
Oh yeah, all of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have the screenshots to prove it.
All right, so we're going to take a look here. This is not really breaking news, but I thought this was interesting, and I haven't seen really any updates on it. But James Gunn confirms that J.J. Abrams' Superman project is still in development. That was just from a couple days ago. What do you?
This is weird because this isn't the Val Zod one. This is the Black Clark Kent one.
Right. I still don't understand what this is. Like, I don't.
The only thing I can think of is that it's still in development because they've asked him to sort of change it to be Val Zod because they wouldn't do it. I think now you wouldn't do the Black Clark Kent if Superman Legacy is a new, well, because Superman's like a new.
Why?
Clark
So
Kent.
my issue is if there weren't other Supermen to do, because there's plenty of Elseworld Supermen. If there weren't other Supermen to do, I just don't understand the idea of doing a race swap Clark Kent. That part confuses me. Because
I think it was meant to be like literally an Elseworlds thing of like, what if Clark Kent was black but grew up in the same, I guess, upbringing.
But what I mean though is I like the idea of them, like Val Zod seems like a really good story and it gives them a different world to play in. Like, say for example, the movie does really well, then they have the opportunity to just introduce characters from that Earth. Like that,
or another cool idea, you make Val Zod the Superman of the Batman Earth if you want to do something there.
You could do that too. I think, we talk about this a lot, and I've said before that for me, race swap, gender swap, whatever, it usually doesn't really matter much to me unless it's really integral to the character. So they can absolutely do a story with Black Clark Kent. I don't really have a problem with that. I'm just trying to question why they're deciding to do it when there's more than one Black Superman with a really good story, especially the Val Zod story, which is very current. Like, it's a modern version of Superman. So I don't know why they're just not doing that instead, because I feel like that would be much more interesting. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm tired of seeing the Clark Kent growing up story, and I'm over that, which is why I really love Superman and Lois, because that's not really the vibe of the show. And that's why I'm kind of glad that James Gunn is doing like a later in life not later, but he's been Superman for a minute. Opposed to like getting that origin story, because I just don't want to see another Superman origin story so soon. And what I mean by soon is, I mean, like we've had like the one from the Man of Steel movie was 10 years ago. So yeah. I feel like it's too soon to do another origin story for Superman, and this time we're going to make him the Black Superman. I would much rather, if they're going to do this, to give me a different story, something new and fresh. I mean, if they want to make a Black Clark Kent and then not make it like the Smallville Clark Kent and completely do something different, that might be interesting. I just don't want to go and do the Smallville stuff again. I feel like we are, I don't know, we're running through water on that one. It's just we're stuck there. Which brings me to the question is, are we going to see any of that in the James Gunn Superman movie? Are we going to get flashbacks to that? Because I don't know if that's necessary to waste time on that.
He said that there's not going to be any young Clark Kent. So
Good. Well, I mean,
I
I'm
guess
good.
you only be dealing with like, I guess at the most you might get teenage, like 17, 18, and still played by David Corn Sweat, and they just dress him to look young.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is J.J. Abrams, although I know that some people aren't like the lens flare stuff, people joke about that all the time or whatever. I tend to like most of the stuff that he does. Why not attach him to something in the new DCU? Like give him something in the DCU that, you know, is going to continue on, because if this is an Elseworlds movie, he could do this and then they could be like, well, it didn't perform well for whatever reason. Now we're not going to use you in the DCU. Just give him a DCU movie. You know what I mean? Because like Quinlan says, I thought that Michael B. Jordan was supposed to be working on one. And I think that was the one. I don't think that was this one. Yeah, that was the Val Zod one.
Yeah.
And that one, I think we found out last year that they had officially like said that was not happening. So, right? Wasn't it last year?
I don't know. I don't even know what's going on with that one. If that one's
I don't know either. I have no idea.
I have to shut out the door. Yeah.
All I need from this is to give me something different than just like.
To be honest, I don't see it happening. I think a lot of stuff is just lingering.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is waiting just for contracts to run up.
What about the Constantine movie? Is that going to happen?
Well, I don't know. The Zatanna one got scrapped.
That's what I'm saying.
So that was a part of that.
With Keanu Reeves attached to it, and so that one, I don't know if that's happening or not either.
Oh, do you mean Constantine too? I think they said that's still happening, but once again, I think they're really, really cautious on the DC brand. And I mean, I don't think the first Constantine movie is that good. So I don't know why. I actually do struggle to understand why people want a second one of that, because I don't think the first one.
I didn't either.
It's got some cool concepts, but like I think the actual movie as a whole isn't that great.
I think so. This is my opinion on this. I think when John Wick was out, obviously Keanu Reeves was hot again. Those movies do really well for him, and DC was struggling, like big time struggling, and so they needed something exciting. I don't remember. It came out like around the time some bad news was happening. I don't remember what it was.
Was it Ray Fisher?
Maybe it was. It might have been.
But then again, he was tweeting every other day, so no matter what news dropped, it was probably.
I remember Ray Fisher specifically. We were doing a stream talking about this Constantine movie, but it was right around the time some other controversy was happening. But I just don't remember.
I'm just going to assume it was Ray Fisher because he was nonstop tweeting for about.
Let me see. When was that? Hold on. Keanu Reeves. Constantine 2. Let's see. It was November
of.
No, it was wait. Hold on. When was it?
It was in 2022 when they announced.
Yeah. I think it says November 2022, but I don't remember what was going on then. And they did an update October of last year, and it says Constantine 2 will be R-rated. And that was the last update on it. Oh, wow. So as of October of last year, there's no script or anything. There's no script. This was October 30th of 2023. Constantine 2 story being hashed out with Keanu Reeves, but their no script written, but they want it to be R-rated. And that's all it says. There's nothing else. So...
Oh, by the way, I had to ask you. I was just looking at my profile picture and I thought I may as well ask. It just popped into my head. Is it actually going to be Biden versus Trump again?
Probably.
I saw in the odds for Vegas, Trump is favorite to get president.
I don't pay
attention. They got him at like minus 110 or something like that. I mean, it's like what, $1.80 or something.
I don't pay attention to that stuff. There was polls that supposedly Hillary was going to win when she was up for her election, and that didn't happen either. So I don't pay attention to polls. It really comes down to what happens in court. Because if he gets convicted of certain things, he will be ineligible to actually be a president.
But low key, on the low radar, if you want to put it on the down low, do you sort of want him to get in so you can watch the debates between Biden and Trump again?
Oh, you mean the election thing?
Republican candidate, yeah. Do you want him to be able to get?
You're probably not watching the clips or whatever. He is basically incoherent at this point. Like he rambles on and says he's not like he was back when he was running in in the 2015. Like it wasn't.
No, but that's the thing, Eric. That's why it's even funnier because Biden is just as, if not worse. So
no. What I'm saying though is that I don't find any interest in watching two old guys argue when they have trouble like getting their point across. So
It's
for
so
me, it's not really
terrible.
it's not
Some
exciting
of it
at
was
all.
hilarious. Some of it was hilarious, and like it's better than like Trump, like Biden going up against like God knows who it would be, like some other random
Well,
person.
the governor of California told all the other people, especially I think it was Ron DeSantis that he was on stage with or whatever. He said there's only one thing that's for certain for all of us that are running right now to get put in this position to be elected for president is we will not be the nominations for the Republicans or the Democrats. And that's the reality. Democrats had already decided that Biden and Kamala were going to run again. And it was pretty much already decided that Trump was going to run again for Republicans. So all of the other people trying to go up to get their party's position for running, it was pretty much like literally, I feel like we're watching two grandpas argue. And that's just what it is, essentially.
Wait, so what do you think the odds would be for someone dropping the term woke within this debate? Do you think woke would be dropped?
I don't think so, because that's why Ron DeSantis had to pull out of running.
Isn't that because he got caught wearing high heels?
Well, I mean, like, just this whole culture war stuff isn't enough to win a platform. It's not enough to get you elected into the White House. Like, it's just not. You have to have actual like things that you're talking about and all that stuff. It's good to make money. You can raise money on it. We see it on YouTube. I mean, people raise money on like woke this, woke that, blah, blah, blah. Like you can raise money on that stuff, but it's not actually addressing any real problems. Like there are actual real problems that are going on. Like the stuff happening in Texas right now. I don't know if you keep it up with the news or whatever, but the Supreme Court said that you can't put razor wire in the water because it's dangerous. And there's a long explanation for why. Basically, the Supreme Court said he couldn't do it. Governor Abbott couldn't do it in Texas. But he's saying, yes, I can do it. And so now the federal government...
What's he trying to stop? The fish?
That's the point. That's the point. And so those are issues that people, for some reason, are actually really interested in, right? They don't care that the Barbie movie is the best movie in the country. They don't care that there might be a trans character in a Spider-Man film. Like, they don't care about that shit. That you can't get elected on that. And I think it was really stupid for him to even assume that he could. So that's why Ron DeSantis backed out. And that's why a lot of people aren't talking about that anymore. It is a way to make money. You can grift on it. You can get people to tip you and stuff like that for things like that, but you can't win elections with that. It just doesn't happen. So I don't know. I'm not excited about this election cycle at all. I've said for a while, I'd like to see some different, slightly more like not beyond retirement age people running for these offices, so we could actually see some difference in things that are happening. But career politicians and people that can make money off of it, like Donald Trump, they're always going to be the ones running. There's really not a lot we can do. Our country's a two-party system. It's not supposed to be anybody can do it, but it really is just a two-party system. If you're not running on one of those two major platforms, you're never going to have the opportunity to get elected. Like, you'll win small state stuff, but you'll never be president unless you're a Republican or a Democrat. So you're voting for the less two evils, and I vote more on social issues. So that's typically how I vote, even on local elections. So,
okay, can we get a Trump impersonation from you?
I could not even bother to try that.
It's gonna be huge.
I'm not good at impersonating. There's actually a lot of really good Trump impersonators out there. There's some really, really good ones. I think
Jamie Foxx has a good one.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx had a good one, but there's a lot of them I've seen that are good at it because Trump has a very unique way of speaking. And so there's a lot of people that do that. But for me, I'm not excited about any of it. All of it just kind of fucking drives me crazy. But yeah, we'll see. So here's the deal. If he gets found guilty on felony charges for anything, chances are he's probably not going to be able to legally be president. So I don't know what that means. We've never had that situation ever in the history of the country, as far as I can remember. So, yeah, I don't know. All right. South Texas Shark with a Team Airrick member chat. 14 months. Thank you so much. What are your thoughts on Netflix prices rising? Paige and I have talked about this a lot. They're going to gouge people with these streaming services until they find out they can't do it anymore. They're going to keep raising their prices. I don't like it. There's not a lot I can do about it. At a certain point, people will be priced out. That's essentially what's going to happen. They're going to keep doing it till they can nickel and dime people to let. And here's the deal. Netflix actually, when they switched over to having, you have to have your own account. You couldn't just live in another house and share accounts or whatever. their memberships went through the roof, which means they're making a lot more money now than they did before. There's absolutely no reason for them to raise prices at this point. There's no reason.
Well, to an extent, yes, because of the strikes. But also, we don't know necessarily what the price thing there is in regards to the.
We talked about it. The actors didn't get a really good deal with the strike. So,
but the writers and directors did. So, and like how many writers are in an episode, you know? So that's the only thing. I do know, like, but they're getting into live streaming now because they got the SAG Awards. They have that in like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, whatever it is. I don't know how that's going to work on Netflix. They've never live streamed anything before. Yeah. So I don't know. And then they're
get boomers out of politics. Okay, boomers.
The only thing I can say is that I think Netflix the past 6 months has been pretty good with its content, but the 6 months before that was pretty arse, and it was like.
Didn't we talk about this? So Netflix, no original content. All of their best content is licensed content, which is no big surprise. We've talked. Well,
at least movie wise, at least their movie stuff is pretty much. It's outside like the first week, pretty much all their movies drop off after that, and then maybe some stick around. And once again, it just depends what's popping up and stuff like that. And
so
TV wise, most of the original stuff is
like cutting cables now. Like,
to me, especially if I look from the outside in, looking at America, I think the only ones you'd bother having are Netflix, just because it's just going to have the most there, especially whether it's original or acquired.
Yeah.
Amazon, just because you get it free with Amazon delivery anyway.
Yeah.
And then probably HBO.
No, you don't anymore, actually. Not totally.
You don't?
No.
In Australia, you still do.
It's $2 extra to get it.
In Australia, I think it's still I think in Australia, they just increased the all because of the postage.
If you only have Prime, you get most of the content with ads. If you want everything, it's an extra $2.
Okay, that's not like that, but I don't know, we might be getting there soon. But yeah, so Netflix, Prime, and then probably HBO Max, just because it's got the entire Warner Brothers.
So here's my deal. I agree with you, except for Max. Like, we were sitting here tonight, like looking through.
Well, that's from me from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But it also depends what your taste is, because Max has like the Turner Classic Movies and a bunch of those different things there as well.
A lot of that stuff we have on Blu-ray, like a lot of our favorite.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah.
But Max, they've canceled so many shows that we know are not coming back. That my Max, I paid a year in advance, and come like I think June of this year is the year that's up, and then I'll go like to a monthly or whatever. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. Like, I don't know, because we already have Discovery Plus, and we actually watch a lot of stuff on Discovery Plus, but we find that's the same stuff on Max that we'd be watching too as the stuff on Discovery. So Max is almost redundant for us. They've canceled everything we like, and we don't care about Harry Potter, so that show wouldn't bring us back to Max either. So I don't really know. Netflix for sure, 100%. Disney Plus for sure, 100%. Prime, yes, we'd keep that 100%. Everything else is pretty much a toss-up for us.
I know. I got rid of Disney Plus because I just wasn't watching anything on there.
We watch a lot of stuff on Disney. So
yeah, like pretty much the most. You know what I was watching the most? Just Simpsons. I was just chucking on Simpsons and it was playing in the background. That's pretty much what I was.
What's really going to determine if we keep Disney Plus this year is how quickly they get content out. Because remember, we've had that strike and there's a lot of stuff that got delayed. So this year might be a completely dead year.
By the way, you know how I think it was the after party. So pretty much a week ago, we were talking about how I brought up how, from what I'm saying, like that Percy Jackson show just isn't hitting with people.
Yeah.
Ever since I said that, all I've been seeing on my TikTok is these Percy Jackson fanboys and fangirls.
You brought it on yourself. Your phone heard you. That's why you said it out loud.
Probably. God, if that doesn't prove it, nothing will. But they're saying, like, I grew up with the books. I lived by them. They were my favorite thing. You know, it got me into this, that, and the other. It got me into reading. And so many people they don't hate the show, but they're just like, this is not what we were promised. Because apparently the guy who wrote the books is one of the executive producers. I don't know if he wrote all the episodes, but I think he wrote the first episode at the very least. He was talking it up, but apparently everyone's just going like, I think you might have cursed your own show. Like, you jinxed it. It's like talking up a big game. It's like Eric stepping out there. I got the best DJ set in the world, and all of a sudden, all he's dropping is hot in here on Lit, which I wouldn't complain with.
That's not. I would never say that. But yes, that's true.
Are you sure?
Positive. So,
are you sure?
I'm positive.
Now you're second guessing yourself. He's like, oh, hold on. I am a bit of an arrogant asshole.
Did you see this from Madam Web? Is this true? this quote.
I
It
don't
says
know.
that they're going to
But
change.
to be honest,
the quote.
you know what's funny though? People
yeah,
are blowing up about this, but everyone sucks off the Amazing Spider-Man. They did the exact same thing.
No, they did, but this one's a big change from the quote, like a big, massive change. And
But also, it's not
really
him saying.
stupid. It
But
sounds
also, it's not him saying it to Peter Parker, so it might be just a version of the quote. And
yes,
then
but that sentence sounds fucking stupid. When you take responsibility, you gain powerful abilities. That sounds really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So
It's
taking
fucking
aside
stupid,
that
but
changing the quote, whether they are or not, it's just a dumb fucking statement.
it's dumb as shit. But also, were we expecting anything overly intellectual from Madam Web or Madame Web, whichever way I want to put it?
I hope so. I hope so, Bob, because if they say that in the movie, I will like. It says here,
Okay,
like,
actually,
also,
hold on. Can we?
It says here, update: the final cut of Madam Web will feature the line, "When you take the responsibility, great power will come." So is that absolutely fake?
But you know what, Eric? It depends on the context. I think this actually line doesn't necessarily seem that bad if it's in the correct context. If it's someone talking in like a future sense, which is Madam Web's been able to be like see the future and shit. Because I don't know, the trailer's also confusing. Like,
we're gonna watch. Before we end the stream tonight, we're gonna watch a small like snippet.
Because I've made pretty much since last year, if not the year before, I made a thing where I pretty much don't watch trailers for movies, especially if they're over a minute. If it's like a teaser under a minute, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it because it's pretty.
Well, we're not watching a trailer. We're watching like a little cast thing where they talk about.
Yeah, but I did watch the trailer for this because let's be honest, I don't have the intention to go watch this in the theaters because I'm going to
see it. Actually, I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, but also you're an idiot, so. Like, I have no intention to see this in the theaters. I'll be waiting until I can just watch it at home or whatever it might be. But I watched the trailer and I'm confused. Like, what's the go? Is she just seeing their future versions as these Spider Women, or are we going to flash forward? So I'm guessing that's what the context of the line is. This because that's what popped into my head. Because that was the thing I was most confused by. Is like, if we're just seeing the future thing. I know.
Well,
no, Kai. It's projected to make 25 million in its opening week.
We're going to look at that in a second.
Not weekend, the whole week.
Right. So Cody, he's talking about this is the Percy Jackson. The show is the director's version of the books. He literally said before the casting, most of the books are in the first person. He added things that aren't in the books because of that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and apparently people just don't like it. Apparently, from what I've heard, it's just dull.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't care. Shit show. Who cares? Percy Jackson shit.
All right. So 25 million, right, for the first week of Madam Web, right? Over the film's first 6 days. However, the movie estimated cost them 75 to 80 million to make.
But is that because of reshoots?
I don't know.
I
double checked earlier and it said that there was between 75 and 80 million to make the movie. So
it filmed in New York, so probably did cost a bit.
But my thing is that if it runs its full box office run and it doesn't make at least 80 million, that's a low budget movie. That's a very low bar.
Well, that's like Shazam budget. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, we're going to see the movie, but we'll figure it out. All right, we're gonna watch. There's this little grounded in reality Madam Web 1 minute thingy. We're gonna watch this and then chat for a bit before we wrap everything up. But this is like a little teaser for the film, and this might get clipped out because there is music in this, and you guys know how YouTube is. So if you're watching this on playback, I do apologize, but we'll see. Anyway, there's some stuff in this clip that makes me laugh because either the actors in the film have never watched other superhero movies or they don't know stories from other superhero movies. So let's see here what it says.
This film and this story is different because it's really grounded in reality.
So that's Madam Web is different because it's grounded in reality, but it's about clairvoyant people seeing the future and spider people running around in costumes and fighting and a time traveling spider.
I have to say this, Eric. Yeah. And the thing is, I'll probably trigger some people, but I'm sick of people. I'm not blaming Dakota Johnson because let's be honest, she's probably just been told to say these things pretty much. I'm sick of people using the term real and reality or something feeling real, that it has to be grounded and not have this stuff there.
You're speaking to the choir. I agree with you.
If something is real, it just means that it's like emotionally and humanely real. Like you feel something when you're watching something.
Because let's be fair here, none of these superhero movies are based in reality.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. So when they're like, I think one of the biggest examples I think of it is when like Man of Steel or even like Batman v Superman, they say it's more grounded. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. When they like, and when you turn like using the term real, it's about you have to like feel for the characters, and they're making real choices. I know you love Man of Steel, but it's got some of the most fucking dumb shit ever. So like to me,
look, I am not a defender of the dumb shit.
No, but I'm just saying, but that's why like I always think of that scene where he doesn't save his dad. I'm like, that does not feel real at all, because if we were all in that situation with those powers,
I cried in that scene. How dare you?
Yeah, but that's because someone kicked you in the nuts and went cop on those ones. Like that's why you were crying. You just don't want to admit it because it's a bit embarrassing. Anyway, move on. I'm just sick of
it. But look, I always try to, like, moving forward, I've used the term like street level, cosmic, whatever, to explain what the stories are, because I think saying that a superhero movie is like grounded in reality, like the actual title of this clip or whatever, like in what reality is this grounded? In what reality? Because we're talking about spider people, multiple spider people,
and future shit. Like
and she's a precog. She's got precognition. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I don't understand what's happening. I think I'm seeing the future.
Through her clairvoyance, she understands that she needs to save these 3 girls.
This is an emergency.
It sounds so grounded in reality to me. Like so grounded in reality. Precognition, clairvoyance, serial killer Spider-Man. Sounds very grounded to me so far.
Get off the train.
It's more of a suspenseful thriller. That man's trying to kill you, which is unique from anything you've seen in a superhero movie.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. No offense to Sydney Sweeney. I really love Sydney Sweeney, but like we've never seen a suspenseful superhero movie.
Eric, we literally had a suspense thriller. Like that was literally what it was at the beginning of 2022. What was the movie called?
2022?
Yeah, beginning of 2022. What was the movie called? It was literally a suspense thriller.
Was it Morbius?
The Batman.
Oh, yeah.
That was literally a thriller.
I thought you were joking. I was going for a joke.
No, I was being serious because I'm like, like fair enough if it was like 10 years ago that movie had come out. It literally came out it's going to come out 2 years to the date almost from this movie.
Yeah. My issue is, first of all, saying that we've never seen a suspenseful thriller superhero movie, and even mentioning the Batman, that's just one of like probably 6 or 7 movies that have been suspense thrillers. I mean, you could even list the Captain America movies in some regard as suspense thrillers, except for the third one. Anyway, I don't know. I again, no offense to her and either of the actors in this, but I feel like these are, I would say this is probably PR approved stuff that they were allowed to say.
They're probably reading off a teleprompter.
Probably. Let's see.
If you want to live, you have to trust me. It has mystery embedded in the story.
You don't think this is weird? How we're all connected?
It's honestly like the least weird thing that's happened all day.
There's the music that's probably going to get me hit for a copyright. It's just
psychologically mind-bending scenarios that you're just going to be stumped on.
Hold on, can we pause it there for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Predictions. Does this movie do damage to Superman Legacy because of Isabella Merced? She's playing Hawk Girl.
I don't know.
If she's really bad in it, that's the only thing I can think of.
First of all, I'm not ready to say this movie is going to be awful until I see it.
I've given my thing. I think Craven's going to be worse than this, no matter what.
I agree.
I'm saying. I think Craven's going to be worse.
I think Craven is going to be pretty bad. I'm not saying it definitely is. I'm expecting it for me to be pretty bad. This movie, I'm going to give my opinion on it when we get done watching this little clip, but I have my feelings about this movie. I think there is potential for this film, but I'm going to explain why. And we talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago. But I'm hoping now that we're watching this, that the superhero stuff we're seeing isn't just flashes. Like I had this distinct feeling that she's gonna see them doing stuff as superheroes, but the premise of the movie is gonna be her trying to save them to get to that point, which means that we're not gonna get a lot of that in the film. Because they said suspense thriller. Suspense thriller tells me that if that's what the movie is, if that's the core of the film, then that means the superhero stuff is going to be like probably flash forwards. Like,
I'm just reading what Serenity says. Suspense thriller to me invokes. To me, it's not horror elements. It's not being able to guess what comes next. That's what a suspense. Because there's a difference between like a murder mystery and a thriller. So a thriller to me is something like Get Out. I had no idea what the fuck was going to happen next. Like that to me is a suspense thriller with horror elements, but you know it's mainly that suspense thriller.
Quinlan says she thinks that this is going to be worse than Craven. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could. It's a possibility.
But I don't necessarily think a thriller is naturally scary, but they can have those elements as well. But I don't know if this has anything where that's like a majority thing or a decent part of it, I would be surprised. And you know why I'd be surprised, Eric?
Yeah.
Because you can see the fucking future. So where's the suspense?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's just do it.
Madam Web is unlike any other Marvel movie.
It's unlike any other Marvel movie. So here's the deal. This is something that a lot of people have said. Brand confusion. Okay? Our general audience is going to be confused that this is not a quote-unquote Marvel movie because it's not even a Spider-Verse movie. Because
have you seen the rumor?
It's not a Spider-Verse movie. Yeah, what is it?
That Spider-Man 4 is going to be folding in the Sony shit into the MCU, so then Kevin Feige has some sort of creative control on what Sony's doing with those
maybe
characters.
Look, so this movie is supposed to be in 2003, according to like their announcements and everything we've seen in the clips. It's supposed to be in 2003, which means it doesn't line up with Andrew or Tom. We've talked about that as well. So it doesn't line up with them, which is why now the movie takes place in its own separate universe. I feel like this movie is leading to nothing. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like it has to lead to something. I mean, the concept of a shared spider universe, if you're going to keep detaching all of these projects, then at a certain point, there is no spider universe.
Yeah.
Like you have Venom in its own little thing. You have Across the Spider-Verse. You have Morbius, which now who knows where that's going to be because that end credit scene doesn't lead anywhere. We have Craven coming out. We have this isn't connected to anything. There's no Sony Spider-Verse. It doesn't exist. The only Spider-Verse now is the Into the Spider-Verse, that one. Like that, the Miles Morales universe. That's the only one that exists. There's nothing else because we don't know what's going to happen with Tom Holland's Spider-Man either at this point. So anyway.
Get down!
It's genuinely refreshing.
Get ready
to see a superhero movie that's really different.
now.
I'm sorry if your entire marketing campaign is just saying that it's different and not been done before. No one's buying it. Like, tell us what's good in the movie.
Okay, right. So let's sit on that for a second. So I think the reason why they're going to great lengths to make us think that this movie is so groundbreaking is because they believe that a lot of the superhero movies from like last year underperformed because people felt like they were the same things they've already seen before. So I think that's what they're trying to do. But the reality is, looking at this trailer, it doesn't look that different from other superhero stuff to me. It doesn't. If anything, it looks less interesting than the other superhero stuff that I've seen. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Gotham Knights a little bit. It just looks like a TV level thing. It doesn't look cinematic to me in the least right now. It looks like this could be a Netflix TV series, to be completely honest. Do you disagree? I mean, it looks like it could be a Netflix TV series.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Is the director like a first-time director?
Let me see.
At least in regards to maybe like anything with a somewhat decent budget.
Let's see. The director is S.J. Clarkson. Let's see. Mostly television. She's never done a movie before. This is her first movie. She has done TV since the early 2000s, which would explain why it looks like a high-budget TV show.
Yeah.
That's what it is. No offense. Look, there's great TV shows. That's not an insult. It's just you're putting this out in theaters. It needs to feel more cinematic, and these trailers don't look very cinematic to me. Let's see if there's anything here in this last couple seconds.
You're showing off. Maybe a little.
One of the comments earlier from Serenity, I think, was like marketing it to the right audience or whatever. I don't even know if this is the right, I don't even know if this is marketing to the right audience. My question to you, and I want the chat to answer this as well. Who is the audience for Madam Web? Like, legitimately, who is the audience? I just want to know opinions. It doesn't have to be right. Who do you think the audience is for Madam Web?
I don't know. Euphoria? I don't know. Is that a crowd?
I mean, yes, there's fans of Euphoria's, the TV show. Yeah, there is. So that's what you think it's marketing to, like that younger,
something like that,
like 18 to 25 demographic, that era.
Yeah, people that don't necessarily care about story too much or anything like that.
So I am going to make a prediction about this movie. So Cody, that is the only thing this movie really has going for it is the people they've hired. Because I do think Sydney Sweeney especially has a massive following. There's other aspects of the movie that I think look interesting in terms of like design and stuff. I think the costumes are mostly bad. I think the costumes don't look really good to me. The visuals aren't very exciting. The concept seems slightly interesting, but the thing is, I don't know a lot of massive Madam Web fans, which is probably why they threw in a bunch of other Spider people, to be honest. So this whole Sony, like, we have so many characters, we can just make whatever we want. You need to pull it back and edit it a little bit. Like, you don't need to make movies for every single character that was ever featured in a Spider-Man comic book. You don't need to do that. It's unnecessary. And what I mean is, you can make movies with better stories without like making that character the main character. Like, you could do something different. Madam Web is really confusing because this is the more updated modern version of the character. Most people that I know when they think of Madam Web thinks of the older woman who sits in the web and is blind and gives Peter Parker precognition stuff. Like, that's the one that most people think of. So this is already like, the people that are fans of this are like, this, what is this? You'd have to read a very specific line of comic books to see this version. And I'm not saying they have to be the same version, but if you're not going to cater to the audience who already likes Madam Web as a character, whoever that audience is, because I've read Spider-Man comics my entire life, I've never been like, Madam Web, got to see her as a lead character in a movie. But whoever that audience is, if you're marketing to a younger demographic, and that's what you're trying to do, I don't think they're doing that right. I don't think it's being done well. Am I wrong with that? It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like they're focusing so hard to be like, this is different from a normal superhero movie, which is insulting to the people who probably would actually be interested in the film. Because you're basically telling them that it's not a superhero movie. It's a thriller. It's suspense.
The only thing I can think of is that they made the movie, they put together some clips and stuff, did some market research, and they came back with an answer of, we don't know who the fuck this movie is for. At least we don't know how to market the movie.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
So there's the thing, Staggervore, though. We're talking about movies that for the last decade were making the most money of any films out there for a decade, right? Who is left that doesn't normally watch superhero movies? Who is that? What audience is that? And do they have enough money to counter the people that were spending $1 billion to go see movies? You know what I'm saying? Like, what audience is that? Maybe there is. Maybe there's a magical like $1 billion audience that never watched superhero movies that's going to go out and spend money on these films. I don't think that's the reality. I think the problem is that Sony doesn't have an idea on how to make movies outside of the animated stuff. I think that the animation stuff, in the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, completely nail that. I think people love that. I don't think they've been very good with the other properties. Even the stuff with Andrew Garfield, that first Amazing Spider-Man movie was pretty solid. The second one was literally the script was a mess in that movie. It just was. And then you go back to the original 3 Raimi ones. In my opinion, the third one in that was an absolute mess. I think the second one was peak Spider-Man for the Sonyverse, and the first one was okay. So the best movie that I think they've ever made live action is the second Raimi movie. I think that's the best one. And that was like 20 some years ago, right? It feels like it was like 20 some years ago. It's probably like
20 plus. Was it 2002?
Yeah,
no, 2004?
It was like 21 years ago or something. I don't know. But the point being is that I don't think they need a Kevin Feige to put together this universe. That's the only way. That's the only way this is ever
So
gonna
what
work.
you're saying is that weird, whatever his name is, the guy that makes those comic books, he should be, who's that guy that's doing who's scamming people for the comic books?
There's a lot of people doing that. Which one are you talking about?
One of them, they should be doing this Sony shit. Is that what you're asking?
No. I'm saying, yeah, I mean, yes, they could do that. Maybe they make money scamming people. I don't know. I'm saying they need someone holding together the fidelity of this franchise. Like if they want the Sony Spider-Verse to work, and I've said this before, they should have actually rode the wave of Andrew Garfield being extremely well received, announced a third Amazing Spider-Man movie, announced that would be crossing over with Venom, canceling all of these dumb fucking villain movies and like stuff like this, and saying, hey, we're going to do a Venom Spider-Man thing, and we will introduce other characters in live action, like a live action Miles Morales or something like that. Like all of these dumb villain movies, it doesn't work. Look at Morbius. Like it's not working. Nobody cares about this and I don't mean that like in this this hyperbolic way. Like people just aren't paying for this stuff. They don't want to see this. And Sony has access to so much Spider-Man stuff, and this is what they choose to do with it. Where's a Black Cat movie? If you're going to give us a spider character that people might go and see, give us a Black Cat movie. I think people might go and see that. Give us a fucking Miguel Spider-Man. Do that movie. Do something like that. You have access to all this stuff, and this is what you decide to make.
You know what? I think you might have answered your own the concern there earlier on, because which I think is a lame thing to do when you're trying to build a new, because it just seems like they're trying to crawl to a finish line, whatever the finish line is, or they're trying to intentionally make bad movies in order for maybe Marvel to do something. But the budget for this movie wasn't high. It wasn't 100+ million. It was like 70, which they might have got some tax write-offs because of where they filmed or whatever it is. And
I think after tax write-offs, they probably spent 50 to 60 million on this movie.
And it's just they probably can scrape together, they might be able to go positive, make some money here, or at least it's worth it to sort of just keep the IP and keep the universe rolling along.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can think of, because the budget was low.
Yeah.
Even all the action stuff looks because it's got a weird ass filter on it. It looks like it was just all green screen. They weren't filming anywhere.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I think it looks cheap to me. I think it looks cheap. I don't know. I really I was so Spider-Man, you know how people love, I've said this before, you have DC fans and then you have Batman fans. There's a separate little pocket of people that just love everything in Gotham. That's their thing. They only care about that and Batman showing up in other stuff, right? And that's fine. I feel like Spider-Man in a lot of ways is similar to Batman. There's some people that just really love Spider-Man. And I'm one of those people who I read Spider-Man a lot growing up. Spider-Man has his own little world of characters that can exist without anything in the outside world affecting it, right? Same thing with the X-Men. They can exist in a world without any other superheroes. It can happen. And Sony has that opportunity and they just don't utilize it. They don't, and even WB and DC to a big degree don't utilize that with Batman. I feel like we have Batman overload, but they're not making the right choices. I don't think they're making the best choices. A Nightwing TV show. Hello? Give us a Nightwing TV show. That would be an amazing show. People would watch that. Can you imagine a Nightwing show tied to the Batman world that follows that world's Nightwing? Something like that would be exciting. People would watch that. I would watch the hell out of a Nightwing show. Like, it's just like so many dumb decisions. Like, this is their IP. They own it. They can do anything they want with it. I don't get it. Well, Dark Zen, that's the thing, is I felt like a Titan show was trying to be a Nightwing Gotham show when it was just should have been a Titan show. And if they wanted to do a Nightwing show, they could just do a Nightwing show. I actually thought they were going to spin off into a Nightwing show. When they did that second season, I'm like, this is setting up like a solo Nightwing series, right? In Gotham. That's what I thought. But I don't know. It's just so many dumb decisions. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this Madam Web thing. We're going to see it. I'll be ready to talk about it. Paige, you can sit here and listen to me spoil it because he's probably not going to see it anyway.
Honestly, if there's anything in that movie that is surprising, I'd be fucking shocked.
I mean, it's a suspense thriller, Paige.
So I have to, because you didn't bring it up. I thought you would have because you're woke. Supergirl casting.
Oh yeah, let me pull up the two possible. Have they decided on one yet? I don't know if they've decided.
No, I'd assume that they'll probably get decided within the next month because they start filming in like 6 weeks or something.
Apparently, she's going to also be in Superman Legacy.
Well, that's what I mean. They start filming Superman Legacy in 6 weeks.
So here is the possibilities, and I'm curious what the chat thinks now that you brought this up. We have Millie Alcock and Meg Donnelly. Do you have a preferred?
Oh, it's so easily Millie Alcock. I have no idea why people would even want Meg Donnelly. You know what else, Eric? I'm going to be so fucking pissed, and I'm really hoping James Gunn doesn't do it, but I'm so worried.
Hold on, let me say here. They canceled the third one has been ruled out. It's just these two now.
It was yeah. Probably because of scheduling things. If Supergirl has an American accent, I'm going to slap someone. It makes zero sense, especially in this version, that she would have an American accent. If she has an American accent, someone's getting slapped. Because I always think of Krypton having a very like, almost like in-between accent of like different things. I don't want like, hey man, hot dog. I don't want that shit. If I get hot dog and corn dog and biscuits and gravy, whatever it is, I'm gonna be pissed off. Also, Millie Alcock's the better actress here, and I think if you just look at like even the House of the Dragon.
So a lot of people, I was gonna say, the people don't know who Millie Alcock is. House of the Dragon. Like,
she played young Rhaenyra.
Yeah, she killed that. So I don't know anything Meg Donnelly's in, to be personal. Like I've never seen.
She's no, you know who she is. You'll know immediately who she is now. Because I didn't know who she was at all outside of her voice. She voices Supergirl in the animated stuff at the moment, which makes me think that it's even a weirder choice to have her here at the moment. But she was the female lead in that Winchester show.
Oh,
because I was like, her face looks familiar, but I have no idea why. And I was like, and then I had a look. She's like in that zombies Disney shit. I'm like, okay,
so your money is on Millie Alcock. Then
also, Millie Alcock recently pulled out of a project that was meant to be filming in the next couple of months.
Okay,
I think she's clearly the best choice. I actually worry for anyone that thinks that Meg Donnelly is the better choice.
Well, I've seen a lot of people say that she, like in picture, she looks more like Supergirl. But like, have you seen Millie?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
But Millie looks like Supergirl too in recent pictures. They're thinking of how she looked on House of the Dragon. That was like filmed like 5 years ago.
And they have like literally like platinum white hair. She like silver hair essentially. Yeah. Like she looks fine there. I'm a bit biased because I just but anyway, like I think she's clearly the better choice. I don't know. The funny thing is the second best choice is the one that got ruled out. That Amelia Jones.
Yeah,
she's the second best choice.
Bob says Kryptonian accent sounds like American Daxamites canonically sound British. Is that the way it's been?
No, that's just because there's lazy filmmaking. I just choose it.
Well, what about the Daxamites on Supergirl? They didn't sound,
That's just Terry Hatcher speaking, and your mate Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, okay.
You said you loved him. He's like, I love Hercules.
Yeah, no, not at all. I want to say, I believe, like one of the rumors that I saw online. But
here's the thing: because Millie Alcock's the clearly better at casting, they'll probably cast Meg Donnelly. I just know that's going to be the case because whenever there's a clearly good casting for a character and they're chucking them up, for some reason they always go with the alternate one for whatever reason it might be.
Bob says in the comics. I guess that makes sense in the comics then. So for me, I believe this rumor might be true, but you tell me what you think of this. A lot of people said the reason why James Gunn is doing all of these cameo things, I guess, in the Superman Legacy movie, is because he wants to be in charge of casting the actors for the individual projects. Do you think that's true? Like kind of like Zack Snyder did?
Yes and no. I think it's like a mixture of like because I think he'd have a role anyway. Like for example, everyone's ignoring the elephant in the room that we have a director for the Batman movie, Brave and the Bold, Andy Muschietti. But is James Gunn going to, or is he doing it because Andy Muschietti is an experienced director where he trusts him with the casting?
Yeah.
So with Supergirl, and also it might be because it's a younger actress, and maybe there can be like certain like biases or whatever it might be. Because they're always going to go for a younger actress, like early late teens to like early/mid 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I guess yes, but also there's only like one example really, which is Supergirl. Like all these other characters are smaller characters. Like it's Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. How often are we seeing?
But his Supergirl will be the Supergirl in the Woman of Tomorrow movie. 100%.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I feel a bit weird that he wouldn't have gotten a director for that. But
so you think he might already know the director? They just haven't announced who the director.
Well, I think it's weird that a director isn't out there, though he's going to be a part of. Like the casting thing has already started. Like the only thing I can think of is that it's like, he's like, well, I'd rather pick the right Supergirl than pick the director to pick the right Supergirl.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, though, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This will be available on playback for everybody, but there might be stuff missing. We watch trailers, so if you're not here live, then you need to be here next time. So moving forward, I'm going to be streaming on Thursdays here each week on my channel. So we'll be doing this, and the after party will be back on the weekends, although we might be doing it on Sundays instead of Saturdays, which will be Mondays for Paige if he's available. So that way it's not so close to this. So we're not doing like this and then one day and then after party. So we might move it to Sundays. We'll see how that works out for Paige. We'll discuss it afterwards. But yeah, so it'll be 2 live streams every single week over here on the channel. And then I'll probably clip some stuff out of this. So expect to see clips of the Supergirl stuff and things like that might go up on the channel. We'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much it. So I'm out of here. Thanks everybody for joining. And Paige, anything you want to say? Or you just want to make noise? I knew it. All right.